Hello all, welcome back to another video. Been a little while because I've obviously been on holiday, but as you can see, I'm back in sunny Poole and ready to talk about some of the things that have been going on. Well, specifically one thing that's really been going on that I've tried to ignore and I've tried to stay out of, but clearly it's not going away. Around about a month or so ago, I was on a podcast with Chris Carlin, and we were all asked the question, do we think Harry Kane will be starting for Tottenham in the new season? And to a man, we all went, yeah. Why would he want to go to Bayern Munich? Why would he want to do that? It's all paper talk, blah, 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 and all the rest of it. And I firmly believe that. I literally, my head absolutely clear. Why would he want to go to Bayern Munich? He's got the Alan Shearer target within his sights. I mean, you know, he really only needs probably a season and a bit, and he's going to smash that. But with everything that's going on, it's become pretty hard to ignore this ongoing saga. We'll call it the Kane conundrum. So. And that's not easy to say. Every season since he started being this great player that he's been turning out to be, the media specifically have tried to sell him. Everyone's kind of pushing him on. To be considered a legend, you need to go and win titles, you need to have trophies and blah, 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 all that rubbish. And we've debunked that umpteen times about you don't really need to do that to be a legend. He is a legend and he will be a legend of football, even if he retired now, considering what he's achieved in terms of personal accolades. But it continues and it pushes. And every season we kind of laugh it off and all the rest of it. But at this point in his career and at this point in time, it almost feels like this is the time when, if something is going to happen, it may well happen this year. So previously I kind of gone, well, the time for him to leave was when Man City were after him, because that kind of made sense. It guaranteed him trophies and so on. Going anywhere else in the UK or in the Premier League is pretty much pointless because you're not guaranteed anything. You might have more chance with a Man United or a Chelsea or whatever, but it's not guaranteed that that's going to happen, you know, because if you look at last season, Man City won the Premier League and the FA Cup, so it only kind of left the League Cup anyway. So okay, so there is an opportunity, you know, if he went to somewhere else. But now that Bayern Munich have come into the mix, I guess the question is, what's more important? Is it important for him now, in his mind, to not necessarily leave specifically to go to Bayern Munich because, yeah, he's going to pick up the Bundesliga, right? But what it does do is it gives him an opportunity in the Champions League, and certainly in the Champions League they've got a better record than we have, that's for sure. So potentially he does have an opportunity to get, you know, somewhere close to a Champions League medal in Germany and so on. But what it also does is it opens the door for a return to the Premier League, not necessarily with Tottenham. And at that point he won't feel like he's leaving us to go to a rival, if you get what I mean. I personally think that Harry Kane is a really honourable person. I think that's why he's not saying anything, because I think it's not his style. I think he knows that he's probably going to move on next summer. But at the same time, he doesn't want to do the dirty on Tottenham, so he doesn't want to leave them with nothing. So if Tottenham are prepared to have a conversation with Bayern Munich or PSG, but more likely Bayern Munich, about a fee in the region of £100 million, then at least he could walk away and go, well, I didn't do the dirty on the club. I got him a good fee and so on. And so then when he eventually finishes collecting medals in Germany, he could potentially just come back to the Premier League with someone else, whoever is at that point where they're guaranteeing more opportunity to get medals than maybe Tottenham are. Potentially Man United, which seems like a logical one, because I can't see him going to City now with Haaland being the young guy that he is. Man United seems like the obvious choice. He's obviously not. He's not going to go to Arsenal. I just can't see that happening. Chelsea, with Pochettino there, I think there is an opportunity there. And it pains me to say it because I really dislike the idea of him going there. But I think potentially he could. And plenty of other Tottenham players have played for Chelsea over the time. And in my previous videos, I've always said that that's when they were shit, and we haven't necessarily sold them good players when they've been going through this massive purple patch that they've been going through. So ultimately, I could see Chelsea, as sad as that might sound, but Man United seems like the logical choice. But I don't think he wants to leave to go to Man United directly from Tottenham. I think it's more likely something he would do in the future, depending on how things have gone. And I don't think we can moan about it and all the rest of it. He's had opportunity, right, to win medals at Tottenham. We know that. We've been to a Champions League final. We've been to a couple of League Cup finals maybe, or a League Cup final at least, and some semi-finals and stuff. So there have been opportunities. So it's not all down to the club. We've given him the platform, as he always performed at those crucial moments, and it's not just about one player. I get that, but at the same time, the point I'm making is he's had opportunity, so he has to take some level of responsibility for that. But getting into those situations more often than not is probably the key for him, and having those quality of players around him who are going to give him, get the crosses in, get the passes through the middle, get those opportunities for him. So, there's no doubting that someone like Bayern Munich is going to give him that thing. I was surprised that's kind of come this way, but I can kind of see it, I can understand it, and I can see Tottenham potentially taking the money from them because they are not a rival, because they are a foreign team and so on. That kind of makes sense that they could sell it as that. Where does that leave Tottenham? Well, for me, it leaves us in a dire situation, because people that are saying take the money and rebuild the team, I think that's crazy talk. We haven't built the team around our best player that we've had in a generation. So why would we rebuild the team with £100 million? You're not going to sell a player of the quality of Harry Kane for £100 million and then be able to buy someone of the same quality for less than £100 million. So I can't see where the logic of that lies. Richarlison is still unproven that he's going to really step up and do the business. So where else do we go from there? What we're talking about. Dean Parrott. Is he gonna be the talisman? Is he gonna do what Harry Kane did and really step up? Dane Scarlett. I don't know, but for me, I think the idea that we could sell him and use his money to rebuild the team is nonsense. I don't think they would. I don't think they could. Get anywhere near replacing that quality. The time to really push on is now. Now's the time. You've got Kane. He's at his peak. And he's still got years to go. The guy wants to play on till he's 40. He's 30. So he's got plenty of time to really push on and do what he needs to do. And that's why I think he could probably go to Germany, spend 3 seasons there, and then come back to the Premier League and still smash the record that Alan Shearer has made. So I think there is opportunity there, and that's how I think he's probably looking at it. That he could spend the next 3 years, or sign a deal for 3 years, stay at Tottenham, smash Alan Shearer's record. But then is it going to be too late to be able to go to somewhere like the Bundesliga and actually, collect some silverware? Personally, I don't think it is. I think he could probably do that, and he could probably go to Spain or Italy or anywhere and collect a few medals. A bit like sort of David Beckham did, go around to all the best teams in each country and collect a winner's medal. Fair play. So, you know, I think this is a real dire situation. I'm really, really unhappy with it. I really think that Daniel Levy has to do something. I was hoping that the view was if he stays this season and we let him go next season for free, at least it would get us into the Champions League, and then it replaces the money that you're losing by not getting a fee for him. But that's a stretch now, isn't it? The more I think about it, the more I think that's probably a stretch. And Enoch and Levy are all about, you know, turning a profit, getting the money, and all the rest of it. Because bear in mind, whatever they get from him is profit, because he's a homegrown talent. So yeah, it's a real difficult one, and the constant media attention and stuff like that is crazy. And I think it's basically because they all really want to support him. They all really want to laud him as a great player and all the rest of it. They don't want to whilst he's at Tottenham, for whatever that reason is. The media bias against Tottenham, and I know all fans say it about their club, but I really do feed it for Tottenham, because it's just so obvious. Because they're not saying it about any other player to be able to go somewhere and actually improve and win medals. They're not asking anybody else to go to Germany, are they? So, you know, it is a bit of a conundrum, as I say. So a bit of a worrying time. I really hope that that Levy can do something that is going to make Harry believe that committing himself to another contract is the right thing to do, is a good thing to do, and he's able to commit, and we can actually push on and do something. But as we know, you know, losing Conte, losing Mourinho, and bringing in an unknown manager in Postecoglou, it's a project. It's a new start. It's going to take time. And Harry might not want to take that time. He's at this point in his career where he would have liked to have had a few medals under his belt by now. And I just feel it's all the media hype and all the rest of it that's telling him he's got to win something to really be considered. I've said it before, I say it again. I don't believe that's the case. You know, I think he is an absolute legend of the game and will be. There are plenty of players out there that have picked up medals that are nowhere near the legend status of Harry Kane. So it's a really disappointing scenario, but I absolutely understand it. But Harry is a professional. He is a good guy. He hasn't gone on strike. He isn't pushing it through. He isn't shouting and messing about like, you know, Modric did or Berbatov did, or even Bale did. You know, we've lauded him often enough. So as sad as it would be to see him go, if he goes, he goes. Like I've supported the team when we lost Hoddle. I've supported the team when we lost Gascoigne, and you know, all these, you know, players that were great, Bale and Berbatov, and the club carries on. This is Tottenham Hotspur. Nobody is bigger than the club, and there'll be another player that will come along. There'll be another player that we will support. There'll be another player that will become our talisman. There'll be another player that will become, you know, one of our own. It's just when that's going to be. It's just when that's going to happen. And now, you know, we've really wanted to actually achieve something with him in the team. That may not happen now. So we'll just have to wait and see. It's a sad situation, but the club goes on. Spurs goes on. We move forward. So whatever happens, happens. I don't want him to go. I hope he stays. But for the first time, I really feel like now could be that opportunity for him to move on. So we'll just have to see. Fingers crossed I'm wrong. Anyway, I'll leave it there. Thanks for watching. Up the Spurs.